net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KD8VYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2434 with the release date of Friday, June 21st, 2024, to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. NASA's got good copy on the Voyager 1 space probe. The U.S. military vows to be more aware of hobbyist balloons, and another electronics retailer is shutting its doors. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2434 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Our top story takes us into deep space. Few things are more frustrating than not getting clear copy on a signal, but when it's being sent by Voyager 1, some 15 billion miles away, and it's garbled, it's a matter of serious concern. NASA reports that Voyager 1 is back in action on all 4 instruments. Ralph Squillace gives the details.
Launched in 1977, NASA's deep space probe Voyager 1 had more than outlived the space agency's expectations for a useful life. Nonetheless, when some of its transmission came in garbled last November, NASA believed this might signal the end of usefulness for the farthest traveling human-made spacecraft. Scientists were wrong. Various media reports say that Voyager 1 has returned to sending data on magnetic fields, plasma waves, and spacebound particles just as before. Popular Science in its June 14th report called it the little spacecraft that could. That turnaround didn't happen overnight. In April, the Voyager 1 team was able to collect some engineering data, which gave hope that the partial fix could reestablish full functionality. In May, 2 of the 4 equipment arrays were brought back into service. Additional maintenance is said to be needed, but on the matter of usable science data, it is good copy all the way. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
Another beloved electronics retailer in the U.S. is closing its doors after 75 years in business. CellMB KB3TZD has the details.
75 years ago, businessman John Ahidjan opened the doors of his new business, the You Do It Electronics Center in Needham, Massachusetts. Its highly visible neon sign was well known among hobbyists and those in search of buying electronics and electronics parts. The businessman died in 2022 at the age of 94. But the store, which employed many of John Ahidjan's family members, continued to attract loyal shoppers. Apparently, the draw wasn't enough. On the 13th of June, the business sent customers an email announcing it would be shutting later this year. According to the website Boston.com, which carried the news, customers went on social media to lament the impending loss, telling stories about how they would seek out tips, advice, and spare parts at the store. The website quoted one longtime customer, Alex Guaraldi, who called the business, quote, a better version of what Radio Shack was back in the day. The website also quoted Stuart Orson, an electrical engineering professor at Northeastern University, who blamed the internet for the store's demise, saying that larger retail outlets are capable of overnight shipping on cheaper components and equipment. Until its doors close permanently, the store's inventory, office furnishings, and even its shelves will be offered for purchase at big discounts. This is Salembi, KB3, TZD.
A past winner of Newsline's International Newsmaker of the Year Award has been among those chosen for the YASME Foundation's Excellence Award, which recognizes exemplary operating, technical, and organizational accomplishments. Congratulations, Raisa Skrinikova, R1BIG, who is being honored by YASME for her YouTube channel, YL Raisa, which educates and entertains its more than 15,000 subscribers and spreads goodwill by welcoming newcomers to amateur radio. Raisa was last year's recipient of the International Newsmaker of the Year Award from Newsline. Other winners include Randy Hall, K7AGE, who is being recognized for his substantial library of YouTube videos, and according to YASME, exemplifies the ham radio mentor. Rudy Severns, N6LF, is being honored for the revisions and expansions that he has accomplished in the ARRL antenna book in its chapter Effects of Ground. He is credited with helping to open up the 630 and 2200 meter bands as the holder of an experimental license. Philip Gladstone, N1DQ, is being recognized for his role in citizen science and ham radio. The Gladstone Signal Spotting Challenge bears his name. Philip is the creator and the maintainer of the PSKReporter.info website, also known as the Digimode Automatic Propagation Reporter. Finally, Paul Schreier, HB9DST, or AA1MI, is being honored for his active role in Summits on the Air and his efforts as a board member of the Helvetia Telegraphy Club. He is also a top organizer of many events, including the World High-Speed Telegraphy Championships held in 2012. In many parts of the world, amateur radio is moving in sync with Mother Nature, finding its way increasingly outdoors. The first weekend in June seemed to be a worldwide celebration of operating from mountains and other summits, and here in the U.S., an organized group of YLs established a new tradition. We hear about it from Andy Morrison, K9, AWM.
Never mind playing King of the Hill. Paula, K9IR, Amy, AG7GP, and a few dozen YLs around the U.S., if not the world, were queens of the mountains. It happened on the weekend of June 8th and 9th, when it seemed that many of the more adventurous ham radio operators were heading to the summits. The pair were kicking off an inaugural YL Soda event to encourage women to try activating for summits on the air and to support one another in making summit-to-summit QSOs. Amy told Newsline she and Paula were inspired to try out this event after a group of 8 YLs activated a summit in July of last year during the Pacific Northwest W70 Soda Campout. Although near blackout conditions for radio posed challenges on the first day, this was hardly the toughest obstacles that the YLs faced. Amy said many of the activators braved heavy rain, mud, poison ivy, and vehicle breakdowns. She told Newsline, quote, "Doing summits on the air, you learn to be prepared for the extra environmental challenges," end quote. Despite those challenges, or perhaps because of them, expect the Queens of the Mountains to be back on top next year. This is Andy Morrison, K9 AWM.
Meanwhile, on the same weekend in Wales, despite seriously crowded band conditions, no one accused soda activators of hogging the airwaves. Going whole hog came afterwards as activators feasted during the 3rd annual GW Soda S2S and hog roast. Organized by Ben, GW4BML. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, serves up this story.
Saturday the 8th of June dawned grey and damp, but activators' appetites were intact for the day ahead, regardless. Sunshine eventually peeked through, and the activators grabbed whatever spots they could find on 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and 40 meters. They listened for signals from their chasers as well as from one another. In a report shared with Newsline, Alan, GW4VPX, said that some of the operators reported more than 30 contacts, a mix of chasers and summit-to-summit exchanges. Some activators had travelled a great distance from throughout England and Wales to participate. Almost everyone wanted to log GB4HOG, the special event call sign of Richard, G3CWI, who co-founded Summits on the Air in 2002. He was chasing QSOs from the site where the hog roast would later be held. Sure enough, by mid-afternoon, full logs were exchanged for full bellies as 62 activators, spousers, and chasers shared their adventures. The tables were as crowded as the bands had been, and everyone seemed to be hogging the food. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
It's time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the N6ICW repeater system in Sacramento, California, during the Monday Aries Races Net, which starts at 7:30 local time. A major electronics manufacturer has been sanctioned by the FCC for making what the Bureau says were changes to legal power limits on Wi-Fi devices and routers. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, brings us the details.
The U.S. Federal Communications Commission has proposed a fine of more than $367,000 against a major electronics manufacturer for selling Wi-Fi adapters and routers that the Commission believes were modified to exceed legal power limits. The report of the action against ASUTech Computer Incorporated was posted on the FCC website on Friday, June 14th. The equipment marketing violation charge includes sanctions against ASUTech Computer, which is based in Taiwan, and ASUS Computer, the wholly owned affiliate that markets the routers in the U.S. The Bureau's posting said that it had a complaint from a purchaser of 3 model GT AXE routers, and when they were tested by a certified laboratory, the authorized power exceeded legal limits by between 4 and 9 decibels, or nearly 8 times the legal power levels on some frequencies. The notice of apparent liability noted that the company and the FCC had entered into a consent decree following the investigation of similar violations involving Wi-Fi adapters and routers. The FCC posting did not include a statement from the company, nor was there any comment from ASUS Computer on the company website. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Hobbyists will be glad to know that the U.S. military is making an effort to be more balloon-friendly. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, explains.
NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, has been making a concentrated effort to track and identify objects that might be high-altitude weather, research, or hobbyist radio balloons, such as ones launched by amateur radio clubs and school groups. NORAD is now studying numerous websites to determine as best as it can what balloons are flying over North America at any given time. U.S. fighter jets shot down 3 hobbyist balloons in 2023 after detecting and shooting down another high-altitude balloon, which the government department identified as a spy balloon from China. Stephen Armstrong, NORAD's chief of strategic engagement, told the military website Task and Purpose that NORAD is now taking a closer look at raw radar returns to ensure more hobbyist balloons don't meet the same fate. NORAD now reaches out to hobbyist or researcher groups when it is practical to do so. It seems to be working. Armstrong said that in April, NORAD confirmed there was a hobbyist balloon that had been launched but concluded it did not pose a threat. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
The Parks in the Air program is still very young in Turkey, and now so are some of its biggest fans. We learn who they are from Jason Daniels, VK2, LAW.
2 years after Furkan, Tango Alpha 7 Hotel put his home country of Turkey on the POTA map, the Parks on the Air program in Turkey has been growing bigger and younger every day. In a country where only 67 of the 322 listed parks have been activated so far, younger amateurs have been taking up the challenge this year. Now, about according to Ursan, Tango Alpha 1, Echo Yankee Echo. Ursan said a quartet of 4 young radio operators in search of outdoor activities away from the RFI of the city are now leading the way. TA3TGC, TA3LCK, TB3BDV and 4K6IJ have operated in the parks around Bursa City using their club call sign Yankee Mike 3 Kilo Bravo, then moved on with their radios into parks near other cities. Meanwhile, young poacher enthusiasts TA7YLY, TA7ACC and TA7EK have been calling CQ poacher in the Black Sea region. Ursan said this trio also did some of the earliest activations the year poacher began in Turkey. Furkan was inspired to bring poacher to Turkey after operating in the US as W7AOF and quickly logging parks in all 50 US states. He received the names of the national and nature parks from the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, collected the necessary data for them and processed them for the poacher database. This year, to further nurture parks on the air in Turkey, the website tadx.org was launched to show the parks listed in Turkey and the team's park-related activities. It can only get busier. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
In the world of DX, listen for Vitali, F4WBU, active as TM17CEF, through to the 28th of June, and as TM24F from the 29th of June through to the 14th of July. He is using these call signs in recognition of the 17th edition of the UEFA European Football Championship, the Quadrennial International Men's Football Championship of Europe being held in Germany. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Jeff, W7BRS, operating as VK2/W7BRS from Lord Howe Island, IOTA number OC-004, from the 20th of July to the 1st of August. He will operate CW, single sideband, and FT8 in Fox and Hound mode on 40 through 10 meters. QSL via M0URX's OQRS. Listen for TM67OG on the air during the Paris 2024 Olympic Torch Relay and the Games. You may hear this call sign between the 25th of June and the 27th of July. The second call sign, TM67JO, will be on the air between the 26th of July and the 11th of August. QSL information is available on QRZ.com. Michael, DF8AN, is on the air from Jersey, IOTA number EU-013 as MJ/DF8AN until the 25th of June. Michael is using some CW and digital modes on 80 through 6 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. For our final story, we visit the International Ham Radio Exhibition in Friedrichshafen, Germany, which will have its doors open between the 28th and the 30th of June. This year's event has found a way to combine the amateur with the professional, and Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us how.
Employers in technical fields and prospective job candidates will have a chance to meet up for the first time this year in Friedrichshafen to see who's hiring and who is hunting. According to the organizer's website, the job marketplace recognizes that hams are ideal candidates for employment in technical fields and that their amateur radio skills fit well in a professional environment. Career days will be held for 2 days, the 28th and 29th of June. Visitors can now have a lot more to look forward to than just a fancy new state-of-the-art rig. They will perhaps find a new way to afford it. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
If a good day of radio is like poetry to you, pick up a pencil and join the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Share your experience by sending an original haiku to us here at Newsline. Use the entry form on our website, arnewsline.org, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. Sorry, but we cannot accept any entries that aren't written in traditional haiku form. Share with fellow listeners the poetry that is inspired by your ham radio experience. With thanks to Ellen, GW4VPX, Amateur Radio Daily, Amy Haptonstall, AG7GP, the ARRL, the Associated Press, Ben Lloyd, GW4BML, Boston.com, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, Airson, TA1EYE, the FCC, 425DX News, Forbes, Ham Radio Friedrichshafen, Popular Science, QRZ.com, Scientific American, ShortwaveRadio.de, Space.com, Task and Purpose, the Yasmy Foundation, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Net to start in about 9 minutes.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater.
The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep our members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by amateur radio Newsline at 8:01. We'll start with some announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest for the club. Once the general interest check-ins are taken, we'll take check-ins 5 at a time, call signs only, please. I'll confirm the call sign or name before moving on to the next. Then we'll go back to the top, work those 5, and then repeat. If you're just stopping by, let us know that you're in and out, and we will not call back to you then. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call, repeat it phonetically, followed by your name and location. When all check-ins have been worked, I'll repeat the announcements and then close the net. We also operate an HF plus 6 band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, and I will announce them on this repeater just before 9:30. Tonight's net will be on 80 meters at approximately 3.827 megahertz. But that exact frequency will depend on band activity and QRM. Please join us if you have the privileges or the equipment. Announcements. Let me flip my page back. The next meeting is July 10th at the church in Cuyahoga Falls. It will also be Zoomed, 7:30. We'd love to see you there. We will have snacks for you. We've got we'll do a field day wrap-up. I'm sure a lot of people out there this evening have participated in a field day, if not ours, one of the others. We'll also be talking about our Hamfest planning and get Hamfest planning underway. We'll also be talking about the club picnic the following month in August, so hope to see you there then. I also have a meeting coming up August 14th. I think that will be the club picnic, and then September 11th, and that may very well be a meeting on antennas and the care and feeding of antennas. During field day, I found a lot of interest in how antennas work, why they work, and why things are done the way they are, so we'll try to do that probably as a September 11th meeting. All right, that's all I've got. Looking for any club members or officers with announcements of general interest. Go ahead. All right, nothing heard then. Just to get this way, to get the net underway, if you did participate in field day, I'd like to hear your experience. Give us 30 seconds, a minute of what you did, where you were, how you enjoyed it. Admittedly, the temperature was a little bit, well, more than a little bit. It was downright miserable. But hopefully you had a good time out there. I know Sunday, as I was getting drenched in the rain, it was like a little kid again playing in the rain. It actually felt pretty darn good. So I have no complaints there. All right, with that, we'll start taking check-ins. We'll go 5 at a time. Call signs first. Please go ahead.
K8HMS.
All right, first out of the gate, Steve, K8HMS. We'll get back to you next.
Alpha Charlie 8, X-Ray Oscar.
C8XO, Vince, we got you next. I think I heard W03X. You're a bit noisy in there, John, but I got you there. Next.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Radio Charlie, November.
K8RC, I can't type tonight, M. Gotcha, next.
K8YAX, Forest in and out.
Right, Forest got you in and out, thank you very much. Next. Well, I got 4 off the top, we'll start there and we'll go ahead. First up is Steve, go ahead.
W8VPV, Net K8HMS. Yeah, good evening, Frank. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for everything you did for field day. And I hear Jim in there, RCN. Yeah, Jim, I meant to mention to you, I tried to catch you before you left, but enjoyed running the CW stations with you, so it was a good time, and hope for next year, too. Yeah, one other thing. I'm thankful the GOTA and FTH stations were next door, so we had a little better operating experience. Other than that, yep, just was a good time. Didn't do as much as I wanted, but it was the heat got to me a couple times. So back to you, KHMS.
Very good, Steve. Appreciate all the help you were, and let me put a general announcement out. If you participated in our field day this year, while it's fresh in your mind, please take a piece of paper out and write down what went right, what went wrong, what you think we should do different. We're going to try to do a quick wrap-up meeting at the July meeting, and just get all this down on paper so next year's field day team has some starting experience. So definitely go ahead and write that down. And any other comments you have on our field day and what you did, we sure would love to hear them. All right, AC8XO. Go ahead, Vince.
Good evening, Frank, and everybody else on the net. The folks out there may have seen my email. Time for newsletter stuff. Take a look at what I wrote. Other than that, I ain't got much to talk about, Frank. Sorry I did not participate in field day this year, but it's just too many things getting away. AC8XO, back to net.
I fully understand, Vince, and it was brutally hot out there. Saturday was rough, and we were all watching each other fairly carefully for signs of heat stroke. We were under the trees this year, and we had air conditioning in one trailer, and a couple of people were in there cooling down, and that's what it's there for. So hopefully we'll see you out there next year. W03X, go ahead, John.
Good evening, Frank, and all on the net. This is W03X. I had a good time over the weekend. In addition to W8VPV, 5 Alpha Ohio, during the night there, I also operated here at home as W03X 1 Echo Ohio, and I made 136 contacts, 6 of which were on 10 meters, which was surprisingly dead. Let's see, but my most contacts were on 40 meters, and so I had a fun weekend here with field day. So with that, back to the net, W8VPV, this is W03X.
Very good, John, and of course, thanks for all of your help out there also. You were invaluable during setup and teardown. As I say, the weather was brutal. All right, next up, Jim, WA8RCN.
W8VPV, W8RCN, Jim in Cuyahoga Falls here, over by Blossom. Yeah, good time. I tell you, I haven't done it in 10 years, and had a good time, good bunch, and you guys had everything organized pretty well, and everything, I think, went fairly well. I was just a little disappointed with 40CW in that wasn't the antennas, wasn't the equipment, and I'm not so sure if it was the conditions either. It's just that I think there's a lot more guys on sideband anymore with the no-code requirements for the license and everything than there was on CW. And I'm thinking maybe 10 years ago when Eric and I used to do, we'd make, 900,000, 1,100 sometimes, and man, I was hard-pressed to make almost 500. It was times when that queue was running for 5 minutes calling CQ and no takers, and I'm going, man, where's everybody at? So times have changed, I guess, a little bit. W8VPV, W8RCN.
Well, very good, Jim. We appreciate your time out there, and sorry I put an A in your call. It's W8RCN. I've got to correct that in my log here. Well, the CW station still did a great job. I'm looking at the preliminary scores here from Anthony. 729 contacts, which is almost 1,500 points. Phone station did 1,500 contacts, which was good, and 131 on the digital station. So we came out with about 3279 contacts as a first approximation, and I'm sure there's some bonus point activities in there that are going to add to that. But to everybody who put time and effort into field day this year, especially with the heat and everything. Thank you very much. And as I say, we are looking for ways to make it better, more fun, improve it, change the meals, whatever. But whether you were active in the radio or provided support equipment, just brought the ice or whatever, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was greatly appreciated. All right, Forrest was in and out, so I'm at the bottom of my list looking for 5 check-ins. This is W8VPV.
KVI, in and out.
All right, Ron, got you in and out. Next.
E8, FKN, in and out.
All right, KE8, FKN, in and out. Next.
Foxtrot 8, in and out.
Okay, the in and out station, there was a double there. Give me your call again. We'll at least get you in the log.
Kilo, Foxtrot 8, Alpha, Victor, Delta.
All right, got you in and out. Thanks for checking in. And there is another station in there also. Go ahead.
This is KE8, ULA, Leo.
Got you, Leo. Hang on. We'll see if we can get anybody else. If not, we'll work them one at a time. Lots of times after field day, everybody's kind of burned out. Next, please. Okay, I heard just a beep. This might be one of those radios that you have to push the button and wait about 3 seconds to talk. Try it again. Okay, someone's coming in on the high side, the 440 side, and I'm sorry, all I'm getting is noise. If you can find a different location, maybe up the power, maybe get up on a second floor and give it a try, please give it a try again. Or also try our 2-meter side, but they're not getting through on the 440 side right now. Another check-in, please.
November 8, Bravo, Alpha, Yankee, Ralph and Stowe, in and out.
Okay, got you in and out. Going to have a lot of those tonight. Next.
Echo 8, Zulu, Papa, X-ray.
Okay, I got Papa X-ray. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. Try to call again, please.
Echo 8, Zulu, Papa, X-ray.
All right, Zulu, Papa X-ray. Give me your name, please. I was not able to copy that. Try it once more. Name, please. Right, we'll get right back to you. Another check-in, please. Right, so we're going to do these one at a time. I think we just have a low check-in level tonight, so let me hop back up here. Leo, KE8ULA. Go ahead, sir.
W8VPV, this is KE8ULA. Yeah, I'm just out here in the backyard on the HT. Don't know what kind of a signal I'm getting out there to you. I just wanted to thank you, Frank, and Anthony for all the extra effort you guys put into field day, making sure that all that equipment was out there, set up correctly, functioning properly, on time. That can't be an easy thing, I know. Also, all the experienced operators out there who you guys are, even though you're busy making contacts, scoring points for the club, you still take the time to answer questions and mentor the inexperienced guys like myself. I really appreciate that. And I had a good time out there in spite of the weather. I had a great time this weekend just hanging out with everybody, and I learned a lot. I think I do at all these field days. This is my second one, so I learned a lot, and I had a good time. This is KE8ULA, back to net control.
Very good, Leo. That's, I think Anthony and I and a lot of the officers in the club agree that the contacts are nice, but more important is getting new hams into the hobby and even non-hams exposed to the hobby. And we had quite a few visitors this year, people either set up in the park or just passing through asking what it was. And several of our students that have been in our previous classes stopped by to just see what real ham radio was. And so that, to me, made the event, even with all the hot weather and the rain Sunday, the fact that we were able to expose so many new people to ham radio There's a lot of interest out there, so thanks to everybody who was involved and made this a success. Appreciate that. Okay, KE8ZPX, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I thought it was a great experience. Nice to put a name to a face and meet a lot of you guys. I don't think CW's dead. Anthony's definitely got me interested in it.
Well, very good. I know that I think it was 2007 when the FCC dropped the CW requirement, and I know a lot of hams immediately upgraded. That was what was holding them back to the technician level. I was told, and I don't have the numbers behind this, but I was told that CW activity has actually increased with the loss of the requirement, and I too would like to go from an NO code ham to a KNOW code ham. But it takes dedication and focus and some time, and none of those I've been able to muster so far. So we'll see what happens. But glad you made it out there. Hope all the people listening can make our next meeting. We're going to go over the ham field day and ask for suggestions for next year. All right, I'm at the bottom of my list looking for more check-ins. We'll take you one at a time. Go ahead, call with your call sign, and we'll get right back to you. All right, this may be a record-setting small net, and that's fine by me because my brain is mush after a ham field day event like that, and I'm still unpacking stuff and will be for the next day or two. So we'll try once more. Do we have any more check-ins out there? This is W8VPV.
KE8ULA recheck.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I forgot to mention I made my first 2 DX contacts field day, so I'm just tickled pink. That's a success for me. KE8ULA back to the net.
Oh, very good. Do you remember where they were?
Well, one, we don't know. It was just a DX contact. I think it was in Europe. We were getting walked all over by somebody in Italy, so somewhere in Europe. The other was Puerto Rico, for sure. So I'm not sure if, I guess that counts as a DX, right? KE8ULA.
I'd be honest with you, I think so. I'm not sure. No, I think Puerto Rico's on the list, but certainly the other one is DX. And you can look the call sign prefix up. There are some websites. If you remember what the call sign prefix was, you can look that up, and that'll tell you what country it was. So, well, congratulations, and that's what ham radio is all about, the ability to literally get a signal around the world with just 100 watts in a radio. That's pretty remarkable then. All right, do we have any last check-ins? If not, we'll wrap this net up. I'm not going to waste anybody's time if they don't want to check in. Go ahead now.
Whiskey Golf Delta, in and out.
All righty, I got a Whiskey Golf Delta, I believe, in and out. Appreciate the passing by. Any other check-ins?
E8 FKN, just one more comment.
And with a comment.
I wanted to say thank you, Frank, for taking the time to let me pull up a piece of the carpet and watch over your shoulder and learn from the master. Thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate you being in there watching and everything. It's certainly not a master. There are some people here that I would call masters, and I am not one of them, but I have a great time. I like organizing these events, and of course, anytime we get new hams in here, and or older hams, get them back in the hobby, I think it's absolutely great. And we had a good turnout this year, so I'm psyched, and I'm already looking forward to next year. Appreciate the recheck then. Any other check-ins? Otherwise, we'll wrap this up.
W3X with a brief comment.
Yeah, John?
There is an A in Jim's call, so you were right.
Okay, I apologize. I thought one time I heard it and then another time I didn't, and I always hate to fumble calls, so appreciate that, Dan. All right, any last check-ins?
WA8RC. I say it kind of fast sometimes and blur together there, so it's part of it's my fault too, Frank. Sorry.
problem at all. After 24 hours of listening to signals, lucky I can hear anything. All right, we'll wrap this up again. Let me run through the announcements real quick. All right, got to find the right page here. July 10th coming up is our next meeting. That'll be at the church. It'll also be Zoom. We appreciate your attendance in one mode or the other. We do have refreshments there. We may have a very exciting announcement coming up. I can't say anything about it because it's still in the works, but we may have a major announcement coming up here, certainly if not July, hopefully by August. We'll be doing the field day wrap-up meeting, just kind of want to get any comments, thoughts, opinions from anything that went right or wrong. We're going to start talking about our Hamfest. That's going to be April, probably the 5th. We need to start locking that up and looking for volunteers there. Then August, probably the 14th, will be our picnic. I'll check with the other officers and we'll get that finalized in. Always appreciate that. The club provides the main course, either hamburgers, hot dogs, maybe steaks. It all depends on the price of food and everything. And then we ask the attendees to bring some kind of a side dish, pastas or chips or salads or whatever like that, desserts, and we generally have a really good time. It'll be out at the Waterworks Park this year. And September 11th, several people during the field day was talking to me and other people, and there was a lot of interest in antennas and how you feed them, why you need balance, why you don't need balance, what an antenna tuner does, and why you need it. And as I was talking with one guy, he wanted to learn more about impedance and resistance and what the difference was. So tentatively, the September meeting, which is 9/11, will be antennas and impedance and the care and feeding of an antenna. We'll have more announcements on that as I get it done, but that's the plan now. All right, do we have any other check-ins? All right, we'll wrap this up then. In preparing to close this net, I'd like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been Frank. My call is W8EZT, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. We'll now close the net with 13 check-ins, myself included, and return this repeater to normal and customary amateur radio use. Reminder, we do have a band exploration net. If you have the privileges and the equipment, we'll be on 80 meters a little bit later this evening at 9:30, somewhere around, let's see, I actually wrote that down here somewhere. There we go, somewhere around 3.827 megahertz. So with that, we'll wrap it up then. Appreciate it. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 8:53 p.m. 73, everyone. Hope you had a great field day.
W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. Port link off. W8VPV. Repeater.
EB, or info EB. I put, I told you I knew this call sign, but yeah, boosting it up there quite a bit. Have a good evening, KY4BK. here. You're all good right now. You take care and tell us. I'll be on tonight. Everything needs you out there. All right, you take care.
Well, Larry and them guys get on 40 all the time, but I'll never know where they're at. You know, they're not in the same spot all the time. They bounce around the band. They're all over the band. You know, and I go over there a couple times try to find them, but I can't find them. And, you know, once in a while, Tommy will come down here and say, well, they're up on you know, and I go up there and they'll be there, but like 80 meters, I mean, nursing his telephone all day and all his spam calls and all that. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Mikey. I'm kind of wore out. I ain't doing no shaking now. My next move is to stick myself up to my find my pillow. Yeah, I'm going to jump in the shower here and do the same thing. Yeah, great minds think alike.
But the humidity up. Oh, yeah, thanks for pulling me out of the ball up here. Let's see, yeah, so I was thinking I only had an hour and a half sleep from Saturday morning until about let's see, about 10 o'clock Sunday evening. So all the field day activity, and I submitted my log for W8VPV Echo, Ohio, and so I had 552 points. I had 136 contacts and operating at less than 100 watts, 100 watts or less, gave me 272, and then 100 points
for the field day message, 100 points for the emergency power. I was running on battery. And then 50 points for the submitting it on. Let's see, I think that was it. Whatever it was, it came to 522. So that's for my home operation here. And that station, the 80, 20, 15, and 10 meters of flex station, that NSET antenna with that automatic tuner, that works great. What I did was I put it on the AM and then push the talk to have press the key button on the controller, and then press the talk, and it tuned right up in a couple of seconds. It tuned up really quick, no matter what band I was on. So that all worked out great. So with that, back to the messages, W8VPV. W03X clear.